Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
This week's 93.7 The Ticket Athlete of the Week is Jet Tamala of Millard South High School. Tamala completed 29 passes on 37 attempts for 379 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Tamala also ran for 51 yards on 6 carries and added another touchdown. Millard South dominated Papillion La Vista South 56-19 in round 1 of the playoffs and hosts number 10 Millard North this Friday night. The Ticket's Athlete of the Week is powered by 3 Pillars Performance. Unlock your peak performance with the expert instruction at 3 Pillars Performance in Lincoln and online at 3pillarsperformance.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Strap up your headgear and try not to hit the mat too hard. This is Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning.
Facts don't lie. Wrestling is a pretty big deal in the Big Ten, so it's a pretty big deal to us.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Mark Manning.
Oh, goosebumps. Goosebumps. This is pretty cool stuff on a Tuesday. Again, you know that Tuesdays are Takedown Tuesdays here at the Ticket, 4 to 5 o'clock. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we know there's expectation for some questions to our leader. 402-464-5685 is the Starter Heyman text line. If you want to be a part of it, if you got questions for Coach, hit us up. Let us know. To do it, you can follow on all the live streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Allo, channel 961. Oh, it's a good day. It's a good day. We want to thank the folks from Teammates Mentoring for supporting this, and it's a big deal. And then even before we get to Coach Manning, I want to thank you, the listener, because we've had donations come in both to the station and to 1890 because of last Tuesday's Takedown Tuesdays. And I wanted to say thank you for the people who put something in the mail, the people who drop stuff off. Thank you, because that's what the show is for, is just to bring awareness, get more familiar with this Husker wrestling team. And it is a top 5 program, and there's lots of good stuff to talk about, even some stuff that we didn't think we were going to have to talk about on Friday and Saturday, but Saturday's wrestle-offs gave us some new news. So let's bring in the head coach, Mark Manning of Husker Wrestling. Coach, thank you for doing this. Listen, I get the fanboy. I'm such a fan of yours as a man and as a coach, to find somebody that just, you are so rock solid in how you do this for your people. And how your people talk about you tells me everything good about what's going on at Husker Wrestling Program. So thank you for doing this. How are you?
Great. DP, thanks for having us on. One, and I want to ditto what DP said about we're very grateful for the number of people that have just donated and sent checks to and cash to
Right.
to 93.7 The Ticket. It's really, what a great blessing. We appreciate you guys, and man, it's and really it's a it's money that's going to go in our guys' pocket. So really appreciate you guys contributing to Nebraska wrestling and more than that, even just your belief in us and belief in our kids. And that's what it's all about.
Coach, let folks know, ideally, as the program lead, what's the ideal way for folks to be to contribute, to be a part of Nebraska wrestling? How are the different ways? What's the best access?
Well, really, we've had now with this NIL thing the last couple of years, since 2012, we had what a lot of sports don't have, what's called a regional training center. And we raise money usually between 450 to, right around that, $350 to $450,000 a year to keep guys like Jordan Burroughs, James Green. Right now we have, former Eric Schultz, Liam Cronin, Christian Lance, Peyton Robb, all guys that were all Americans in our program. We want to keep them around because they have dreams to be in a world champion, Olympic champion. And so that's our Major League Baseball. That's our NFL, right? So it's called in our Nebraska Wrestling Training Center. So it's a 501c3 and, lots and lots of people donate to that. And we're grateful for that. And then all of a sudden we have another pocket, NIL, 2 years ago, so it's not going away. It's real. And so we tell our donors and as many fans and educate them about, name, image, likeness is here to stay.
Yeah.
It's going to be entrenched in college athletics, and whether you like it or not, you got to be able to. Our motto is we want to retain our best guys on our team. We don't want, X school down the road, 4.5 hours down the road to that school to buy our best guy.
Right.
And them competing in a different color than red and white. So we want to keep our best guys. To do that, we got to reward them. How do we do that? They become a Big Ten champ. They're an All-American. We're going to reward the guys that are producing and having great results. And we want to be able to reward them with some money. It's not crazy money, but it's not a drop in the bucket either. So we kind of have a little system, and people have really bought into it, understand that, it's our sport is you get what you earn. And that's kind of how we handle NIL. You get what you earn, just because you were, an 8-time state wrestling champion coming out of high school, you don't get loaded up.
Yeah,
you got to do it from within. And that's how we build our culture. The guys that are doing in the room, and on the mat,
You mentioned several things there and Jordan Burrow is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right. James Green,
yeah.
You just rattle off Schultz and company who are staying around. These are Huskers who are staying around the program.
Yeah.
And I think it gets lost in some of the other programs. The value of having people who have gone through this, they developed under you, they grew up under you, they matured under you. How important is it? What is the thing that you get from having those former Huskers around your program?
Well, they understand the principle once they get in our program as a freshman, and all those guys. Liam Cronin was a transfer. He spent 3 years in our program, but he was around 3 out of 5 years of college, and then he's been 2 other years. So he understands the principles. When you give, you get back. And so they're helping Caleb Smith. Eric Schultz is helping Silas Allred become a Big Ten champ, helping Lenny Pinto, helping Cam McDaniel right now. So those guys are, steel sharpens steel and iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. And that's the deal. They're getting better and they're getting coached, but they're also giving back to our program in ways they don't even realize it.
It's interesting as you describe it, that iron sharpens iron, and your consistency, your consistent message that your former competitors say the same thing that your current wrestlers say about what success is and how it's defined and how much work has to be put into it. So I'll ask you this thing. What is the mantra for Nebraska wrestling? What is the thing that you say the most about this program to your wrestlers?
effort, attitude, always, right? Being consistent with your effort and your attitude, and always doing it, continuously doing it. We have a couple of things we do. I'm not PJ Fleck, but
I love it. I love it. I love it.
we years ago, it's tough together. We're tough. We want to be a tough, hard-nosed team. I mean, just think of our state. That's why people love Nebraska football through the decades of, that wrestling. A lot of people say, hey, well, I've never been in a wrestling match. I don't understand what's going on. Well, understand a football tackle, right? Heck yeah, you understand a football tackle. Hey, when you get spiked into the ground, hey,
somebody won.
And wrestling, that's a takedown.
Yeah, somebody's winning.
So yeah, and you're on the light, looking at the lights. That's not good in wrestling. You don't want to be on your back. So I think that's what we kind of really model our team off. Being you got to be in great shape to be tough, and mentally tough, and so you have to put in the work. So it means more than just a word. Together means, hey, you got to, build trust, athlete to coach and coach to athlete, so how you speak to them, how they speak to us, how they communicate back and forth. That's really important. So we break all that stuff down, and, we use it as our motto.
We're talking to Husker Wrestling's head coach, Mark Manning, legend, and for where this program is and what it's accomplished. And I think that it has not reached its apex yet, which is a fantastic thing to say. In the toughest conference for wrestling in the country, that you have wrestlers who, quite frankly, in any other conference would be all number ones or mostly number ones. But in the Big Ten Conference, it's just, hey, welcome to the meat grinder. And to do that, now you have set up a lot of things in place, and a big part of this is how you recruit and who you recruit. Yeah. See, this is when I hope people are get on the stream, because there's a thing that happens with wrestlers and wrestling coaches is that facial expressions give up so much. And we start talking about who you recruit and how your facial expression just changed. Yeah. Define that for us, Coach. What are you looking for when somebody comes along? Because Nebraska high school wrestling is its own space.
Yeah.
And they want to know how to get recruited and what you're looking for. What would make a Husker when it comes to wrestling? Coach, here's an opportunity. Set the table. What is it that you're looking for?
Yeah, a lot what I just talked about, being tough, being together, and we want the right kids, not just because you won 4 state championships. We want guys that are going like this, right? You're like taking off on an airplane. We don't want someone maxed out. We want someone that has aspirations to be a national champion, to be a Big Ten champion, to have the courage to be able to say, hey, I want to wrestle in the best conference in wrestling. And not only that, I want to succeed. And not only that, I want to be a world champion. And not all guys have the goal to be a world Olympic champion, but they want to be the best in college, right? Well, they go on to have a great career. We've had 1 million guys that have gone through our program and are really, really successful in the business world, and whatever the career path takes them. I'm super proud of that. That's my number one job, is to prepare guys for life. Are we going to win wrestling matches along the way? Heck yeah. Are we going to lose some? Heck yeah. But my number one goal is to prepare them for life. Be good husbands, fathers, raise their own kids the right way, and 20 years coming back and showing off the wrestling. Hey, there's my name. There's Dad, that he is an All-American. He was a national champion, or Big 10 champ, Big 12 champ, whatever. And so, yeah, I think we're looking for guys that are committed and that are right fit, that understand that the standard is high to be a student athlete here, right? And it's not just you're not just on the wrestling team. You're part of something bigger than just one program, right? You're if my guys didn't treat men's basketball players with great respect in the weight room, or women's basketball, or the volleyball team, or swimming, or track and field, I'd be hearing from it. But my guys don't act like that. I have great young men that I coach. I'm very, very lucky, and they conduct themselves first class. We talk about it a lot. You have to teach these things, because sometimes home life is a little shaky, and some people haven't had as much as other people, and that's the bare facts of 18 to 23 years old. You have to grow up quick, but there's a high standard here at Nebraska, and that's what we want: great young men with high character.
Coach, it's interesting that because of the way wrestling processes and the requirements, talking to Tervel, it's that every nerve, every fiber of your body has to be apexed, and it never is. Like on match day, you're never 100%. You're never at your best.
Yeah,
and that you have to make so many sacrifices just to get to match day, and then you're leaning against somebody who is mad at you anyway, because you had to cut weight to face this person.
Yeah,
and you make sacrifices socially. There are things you can't do socially.
Yeah,
there are places you can't go to eat. There are places you certainly can't be at the club if you got to face Penn State on Friday.
Yeah.
You got to go home and get it together.
You got to buckle down.
Right. So is that the thing? Is that the thing that wrestling does better than any other sport that we can think of, that it kind of self-monitors, self-boundaries? You have to be the voice to it and give verbiage to it. But wrestlers know every day when they lean up against somebody else whether they've done the work away from the mat.
Yeah, for sure. I had this question for our guys the other day. I asked them two questions. One, did you give 100% in your preparation, right? 100% in practice each and every day. And then two, am I willing to put my foot on the line and give 100% on game day? And that takes courage. In wrestling, is one guy out there, I can't get tired, I can't tag off, I can't. Third period, hey, I need a blow. You got to have the courage to give your all, and not only for yourself but your teammates, and that's what great teams do. They give of themselves for their teammates, and they buy in, and that's the together part, that you're doing it for yourself and for other people, and you're competing with some freedom.
There's the battle within the battle, right? The individual battle, the individual score versus the team score, the lineup itself, the wrestle-offs. And again, in full disclosure, we'll have to say this every Tuesday. There's zero chance I could cover everything I want with Coach Manning in an hour. There's zero chance. There are too many things going on, and there are too many specifics to what greatness is, especially in wrestling. It identifies itself. So let me say this. Wrestle-offs, and they were public Saturday.
Yeah.
Public wrestle-offs. First of all, well done. I can't tell you, and I want to use this platform to amplify that those wrestle-offs being public. I walked into Memorial Stadium Saturday and had wrestling fan after wrestling fan after wrestling fan come up and say, "Did you hear? Hey, I was there. This is what goes on." So, Coach Manning, you have the freedom and the boundary to say as much or as little about the wrestle-offs as you absolutely want. But if you wanted to give an elevator's pitch for what wrestling fans saw who showed up and had eyes on your wrestling squad and those wrestle-offs, what's the lead story?
The lead story is just seeing there was basically 9 matches. Ridge Levitt's banged up, so he didn't wrestle off, and his wrestle off But we had 9 matches, and there was some competitive fire going on. We had some freshmen that were very, very impressive. It's you get the guy you inspect, not the guy you expect.
Job.
And the recruiting, I learned that a long time ago. And we got some guys that we hit on really well. Cale Lawrenson really did a great job against Caleb Smith, who was he's a 6th-year guy, returning All-American, and Cale won, true freshman.
Now say I need for you to say that again, because that's
a mouthful, right?
Right.
Well, here's the behind the scene facts.
Yeah.
Is one, this is the first time they were down to weight. So wrestle off started at 10. There was about over 200 people in the room. It was insane. Amazing. And normally our wrestling room is 80 degrees. It was probably about 95 with all those people in there. So, but it was hot and heavy. But, Caleb has a hard time getting down to weight. Once he's down there, he gets balanced out. So sometimes people come to wrestling early in the season. Wow, this guy's out of shape. Wow, these 8 guys looked great shape. These 2 guys, it's not they're not in shape. It's just they don't have their weight under control. So for a fan that doesn't understand quite, the nutritional aspect of what it takes, that weight cutting sport. So, those guys weighed in at 8, wrestled at 10. So Caleb was cramping. I'm not making any excuses. Just that was the reality. He didn't feel great, but Cale is really tough. And I knew it was probably going to be a 1-point match either way. And it was great. Great for Caleb. He's got a growth mindset. So he's picked up, this week and say, hey, I got to get better here, and here. But I got to get my weight under control so I feel good. Right. So I could give the effort. See, if you, just go, people, have you ever done an 18-hour fast or a 24-hour fast? You don't feel great. And that's a little bit what wrestlers experience. You have to fast a little bit and you're cutting weight and you're making weight. Well, when did Caleb Smith make 125? Last March. And now November 1st, he made 125. Well, your body just doesn't adjust that easily.
It has to.
But hey, listen, not taking anything away from Cale Lawrenson. He did an awesome job, wrestled a great match, and they work out a lot together. So there's a lot of familiarity. Mm-hmm. And, Christopher Minto wrestled Bubba Wilson. Same thing. Christopher Minto's a redshirt freshman and just wrestled his tail off. Bubba beat him in a really close match. And we've seen that, though. We knew Cale was going to give Caleb, and what we call that, good recruiting. We got the right type of guys in, and Caleb Smith will be, this is just his last year. So it's good. We got some guys that are going to be in the mix, and fun to watch moving forward.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to break and come back. One, we're going to have Coach Manning take us through the roster.
Yeah.
And these 10 weight classes, just, again, there's stories at each one. I think they will evolve over the course of the season. And then we'll talk about NIL and how you, the listener, how you, the fan, can help and be a part of what we're doing here at the Ticket and through 1890 and through Husker Wrestling. Coach Manning is here with us. Takedown Tuesdays on the Ticket.
Across Nebraska, voters will have the chance to end the current government abortion ban. The government shouldn't be making decisions for families' health care, but right now they are. Ending the ban takes 2 votes. A vote against 434, the first initiative, and then a vote for 439, the last initiative. It's only this combination that will finally get the government out of the personal medical decisions of Nebraska families. Voting against 434 and for 439 ensures that when there's a medical emergency, it's Nebraska families who decide what to do, not the government. This vote against 434 and for 439 makes it so our Nebraska doctors can treat every patient. The government put this ban in place, stripping Nebraska families of their freedom, but you can end it with 2 votes. The first against 434, and then vote for 439. Paid for by Protect Our Rights.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 12th is $2 off all crackers, $2 off on grind, $3 off on salami, and buy one, get one free on stew beef. Limit of 2. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers throughout the day with patchy fog possible. Otherwise, probably sunny and a high around 54. Tonight, probably cloudy skies with a low around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly cloudy skies and light winds with a high around 55. Meteorologist Kyle Hunter from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
This week's 93.7 The Ticket Athlete of the Week is Jet Tamala of Millard South High School. Tamala completed 29 passes on 37 attempts for 379 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Tamala also ran for 51 yards on 6 carries and added another touchdown. Millard South dominated Papillion La Vista South 56-19 in round 1 of the playoffs and hosts number 10 Millard North this Friday night. The Ticket's Athlete of the Week is powered by 3 Pillars Performance. Unlock your peak performance with the expert instruction at 3 Pillars Performance in Lincoln and online at 3pillarsperformance.com.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bozin, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th, paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Transform your view with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything while keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to it. Takedown Tuesdays on The Ticket. head coach Mark Manning of Husker Wrestling, and we're talking about the wrestle-offs were Saturday. And question for you: will there be another wrestle-off before Friday, or are you going with the results from Saturday's wrestle-off for Utah Valley?
Great
How does
question.
that work for you?
Yeah, we're going with what happened on Saturday for this first match. And then next week we are taking 15 guys. So when we're on the road and we wrestle more than one match, we can take 15 guys. So we're taking 15 out to North Carolina. We wrestle Campbell University next Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And then hurry up, get over to Chapel Hill and wrestle North Carolina that night.
Dirty Tar Heels.
It is the only proper way for us old ACC folks.
Yeah.
If you speak about North Carolina, you have to call them Dirty Tar Heels.
Yeah. I was a Tar Heel. I got my master's at North Carolina. I coached there for 8 years. So yeah, I got a little tar baby in me. Anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So we wrestle Campbell next week and then North Carolina. And then the following week, 2 weeks from now, we go to the Navy Classic. We take extra guys. Hey, if someone gets first, the other guy gets fourth, that guy will probably be going to Vegas. So the wrestle-offs kind of figure themselves out to answer that gentleman's question. And, yeah, we have a good lineup and we can walk it through
Friday night. So who's going to be your 125 Friday night?
125 is Caleb Smith. He's going to bring the juice on Friday. 133 will be a guy, Jacob Van D, our redshirt sophomore from Erie, Pennsylvania. 141. Yeah, he had a great year last year and fell short at nationals, but he's got bigger and stronger and he's really put some good time in. Brock Hardy, 2-time All-American, third in the nation last year. He's back at 141 and he's just a junior and really, really super tough weight class nationally. And then Ridge Lovett at 149. He's healed up and ready to go. Antrell Taylor at 157, new weight for him. He wrestled 165 last year for us and was an All-American, probably at one of the toughest weights in the country. And so he feels great and he looks really, really good at that weight class. And then at 165 will be Bubba Wilson. He beat Christopher Minto, really, really tight match. That was another match that people were watching, Saturday. They were all over the place and some great scrambles and just two great competitors. It was really good. So Bubba's going to go on Friday night. And then 174, we got Lenny Pinto, new weight class for him.
Yeah.
He's been kind of the Italian stallion and probably looked like the Italian stallion a little bit.
He's the rock star.
Yeah.
He's the rock star.
He's at 174. He looks trim.
Oh.
He's in probably the best shape of his life. He's doing well. And then Silas Allred, another guy that's slimmed down. He wrestled 2 years at 197. How about that guy? 197, Big Ten champion, round of 12 twice. And he says, hey, coach, I can be a national champion at 184. And to sacrifice getting his weight down, he did it great. He did it the right way. He's been doing, his diet since early June and what a commitment, talk about a guy who's got a commitment. He's making Lenny Pinto be better. And so just the accountability factor. And then Harley Andrews at heavyweight. And, Harley's going to have a good year. He wrestled some for us last year. And actually he really won us along with some other guys, but he really finished us off and won the Minnesota duel for us up there. And
big performance.
Yeah, really good. And Harley's his maturity and just his talent level's really been developed over the summer, and we're excited to see what he has.
Hasn't he changed his body a bit?
Yeah, he weighed about 230 last year, maybe after a hoagie, now he's about 250. So he's about 250. He was up to 257 a little bit a few weeks ago, but he's really, he's just putting in the work.
He looks like a heavyweight.
Yeah, he does.
Right.
He's about 6'5", so he's a good looking kid. He's a good athlete, and now he's got to show that grit, toughness, what he's all about, and we're really, really excited about his future.
From the text line, Big Slim asked the question, will we have a polar bear sighting this year?
Polar bear.
Yeah.
We're going to put the polar bear away for the he's going to be getting ready for the NFL.
Yeah.
We would love Nash to be back with us, but he's got bigger plans on it, on his stake going forward. So he's going to, once football ends, and hopefully they be good, going to a good bowl. They win these next 3 games, right?
That's all there is.
That's the plan. And so he'll after that bowl game, he'll be getting ready for the NFL draft. And we loved his effort and his commitment to us last year.
Question for you: do you find yourself with the opportunity to ever talk to the football team?
Myself, well, Rule had me talk to him. I went and watched practice one time a year ago, and he kind of called me out and wanted me to talk to him real quick. But and I see a lot of those guys in the training table and say hi to them, and they're some great dudes. I saw Dylan today, and a bunch of these guys, Fedoni and Ty Robinson. I see Nash a lot. Gifford a lot. Yeah. It's great. Our guys really get to mingle with their guys and rub shoulders with them. And it's really good. It's good for everyone. And it's just the mentality standpoint.
From your vantage, and I stand on the side that I think that what's good for the sport is good for all of the sport. And that the state of Nebraska does such a good job with the girls wrestling.
Oh man.
Listen, how much of that is that a thing that from a camp aspect that you find yourself around or would be interested in, because you could actually change that sport in a way that hasn't been done?
Yeah, it's girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport. And a lot of people are like, whoa, holy smokes. Well, they're in Nebraska, they're going to have their own separate tournament this year, separate than the boys. It's grown at that rate. And, quick snapshot of what that was all about is we've always had girls come to our camps, definitely in the last 10 years, 1 or 2 a week. And then it turned out to be 4 or 5, and then 10 to 15. And then the last couple of years, a lot. We had our own girls camp this year, 185 girls.
That's why I brought it up, because I was told
wild
that you have been exceptional in expanding your reach and evolving. And twofold, here's a free idea for money. Yeah. That if you had a women's invitational before a home meet, and you picked a couple of girls from each weight class from Nebraska schools and said, come on down and wrestle at the Vanny, right? Have them wrestle at the Vanny. I think that'd be pretty cool.
We are going to have Omaha Scott and Creighton Prep wrestle before our I believe it's our Minnesota match. It's a Saturday afternoon, and we approached the Scott and Creighton Prep. They want to bring their duel down here before our duel, and it's going to be fantastic. We've been for years trying to do that, you know, but sometimes, one school can do it and doesn't fit in the other person's schedule. So we always try to make that a staple in our program to get, on this Friday, we have a coaches clinic. We'll have 220 some coaches from around the state and some from Kansas and Iowa, South Dakota come down to our coaches clinic. We have that going on all day, and then, obviously match day, but a good, just good opportunity to really, me be able to share some time with the coaches in our state and answer their questions and just give them, ideas of how to get better as a coach, as a planner, as an assistant coach, just different ideas that how to become better coaches and how to impact your guys and your girls. Obviously there'll be a lot of girls coaches there too. And just help them be their best at what they do. And I think, we talk about growth mindset all the time. You're never a finished product. You're always growing and getting better, picking people's mind. And that's what really Friday's about is, we'll do some, obviously on the mat clinic stuff, but also just a lot of, talks about, how to create a system, how to create drilling, how to run practices, how to get your staff involved and, how to pick young people's minds. You really, I always try to tell people at these coaches clinic is we talk a lot about attitude, right? And in any sport, right?
Yep.
So one thing I try to do before every practice, I ask myself 2 questions. One, do I have the attitude? Would I want to be coached by myself today? Right? Because you got to get your mind ready. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
Would I want to be coached by myself?
Mm-hmm.
And 2, who needs me most? Because it's easy to shift right to the superstar, right? I want to go right over to Dylan Raiola because he's, right out, whatever.
Right.
Or the Jordan Burroughs
right.
or the Antrell Taylor, but some kid might need you a little bit more than that guy, right?
It is that thing in coaching that what's on the menu, like what are you offering today?
That's right.
And to figure out who needs what, because not everybody's going to need everything that you have to offer. It is finding the kid who needs you that day. Sometimes, I talked to Bubba for a bit, and I told we were lecturing in a class, and Bubba was sitting up front, and I hugged him for it because him representing your program up front. He sat in the front of the class. He was engaged. He was active in it, and I said, "Okay, that's a winner's move. That's a winner's move." There's a little bit to cover in the final segment because I want to talk about NIL and I want to talk about transfer portal and how it shows up in wrestling and how it shows up in Husker wrestling specifically, and then to give folks a chance to be a part of what's going on. Remember, they're at home Friday night against Utah Valley at Devaney Center, 7 o'clock? 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Friday at Devaney, Utah Valley. Tickets are available. You can just go to Huskers.com. We may be able to figure out a way to give away some tickets as well sometime this week as well. And of course, Coach Manning brought some really cool hats that one goes to Jay Foreman. The rest, we're going to figure out what we're going to do with. We got to make sure he gets his thing. But we'll talk NIL and the Huskers when we come back to Takedown Tuesdays on the Ticket.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of healthcare, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's special through November 12th is $2 off all crackers, $2 off on grind, $3 off on salami, and buy one, get one free on stew beef. Limit of 2. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers throughout the day with patchy fog possible. Otherwise, probably sunny and a high around 54. Tonight, probably cloudy skies with a low around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly cloudy skies and light winds with the high around 55. Meteorologist Kyle Smith for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Before you start blowing and raking leaves this season, make sure you know where they go. Yard waste is not garbage, especially in Lincoln, where it's converted into earth fuel compost. All grass clippings and leaves must be separated from household trash from April 1st until November 30th each year. It's the law. Yard waste belongs in a paper lawn bag, or you may request a bin from your trash hauler who will pick it up for a small fee. Remember, no trash or branches are allowed in yard waste. Get the details at lincoln.ne.gov/recycle.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ooh, there's so many. Like I said, this hour of radio each week is just gonna be fascinating because you find out so many things about how it. But this is the thing. Even wrestling fanatics and people who are connected or at least adjacent to the program, there are things that just they can't know. Yeah. Like there's no way for them to find out. Texter asked about a Vanderbilt quarterback, whether he was offered to wrestle at Nebraska, but walked down to play football somewhere else. And it's just the thing that in this day and age now, with transfer portal, NIL, and the fact that you're in the top 5. Yeah. So your wrestling roster is a pretty good roster anyway.
Yeah.
But there are programs who are trying to find 12 points.
Yes, that's right.
To get over the hump, right?
Sure.
That 24-point swing against Penn State, Iowa, Nebraska, etc.
Yeah.
And they've put a financial value on it that, okay, coach, let's just say there's a number one prospect outside of the Big Ten who's not happy where he is. And he can go anywhere in the country, probably into the Big Ten, because that's where the real work gets done. What is that wrestler worth? What is that wrestler going to be offered to be the number one guy in the country into a new program? Because that one wrestler, now, let alone two, but that one wrestler is a 12-point swing in any meet that they participate in.
He's worth a lot. He's worth a lot and there's 3 or 4 programs out there that it means a lot to them. And that 12 points or, 30 points at nationals means a lot to them. And they're $500,000 for a wrestler.
And I think that's the first time on this network that's been said. And it's necessary because it points out, one, what the priority and focus is, right? How you go about your business. But then the reality is, once you say it, once the initial rub goes off, then you go, well, wait a minute. This is Nebraska.
Yeah.
This is Nebraska. And there are resources and there are people who show up to Devaney Center in full glory, who, if you said the difference between us beating Penn State and not beating Penn State are these two wrestlers next year.
Yeah.
And that this is what it would cost.
Mm-hmm.
I think, sir, coach.
That's where DP, it's interesting. It's very enticing. And we are getting ready to sign next week, November 13th, signing date, 5 guys that are really top 5 in their weight class nationally. And a couple of them are number 2, whatever.
Yep.
However that ranking goes. I don't really care if they're 2 or 5 or 4.
You saw
but they're pretty good. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. And they fit our program. But if I recruit over the top of those young men, how are their dads going to react? And that's what's been happening. NIL and this transfer portal thing has only been alive, a few years, but there's a program in our conference that they've had a lot of transfers, and they've been successful. But that's what some of the parents have, that were recruiting their kids, and this school is recruiting them, and they say, hey, no shot I'm letting my son go there, because they've shown the last 2 years they recruit right over the top of you. So how genuine are they when in their recruiting message, right? And so that's what but that's life. This is real life stuff that's going on in football, basketball, baseball, everything, softball. I haven't talked to Ron about it. I'm sure in softball, every sport. And so you kind of have to create, it's how you feel about these things. It gets down to your integrity.
Well, you
and
walk
your
into
character.
you walk into Austin and I, Jay and I, we talk about this all the time.
Yep.
That from a recruiting standpoint, you have to, on your name, walk into somebody's house.
Yep.
And shake hands with the parents and look them in the eye and sit on their couch and tell them exactly who you are and what you're offering. Yep. And it matters to be able to tell somebody, you're the person. You're my one. You're going to be the difference maker. You're come to us and I'll make you number one. And it depends on the wrestler. It depends on the family.
Yeah.
We never quite know.
And you know what's interesting about that? I can tell them a lot, but they already know me and what I'm about. And so it's kind of a two-way street, right? And once you start going crazy, we've got some Liam Cronin was transferred. Coaching change, guy wanted change of scenery, and we were lucky to get, Caleb Smith, same thing. He graduated from App State, had 2 years of eligibility left, said, you know what, I haven't reached my goals. I want to change it up. And we are lucky enough to get him. So, and we needed that weight class. So it really worked out well. it's, everyone has to look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, would I be willing to do this? And then go out and raise the money over the top of someone. So
Right.
it's a tough dynamic. It's, is it win at all cost? Is it win at all cost?
It really
You know what
is.
I mean?
You and
so
I,
you kind of have to ask yourself that. It gets down to, how's that going to affect next year's class, the 2026, 2027? Because usually that story doesn't go away. It only gets bigger. And so, hey, if there is someone out there that's going to make the difference, I actually straight honest, a few weeks ago, someone reached out to me, and would it make a big difference? This guy? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's not going to happen. But the thing is, there's opportunities out there, and every program's going to have to kind of, what are you about? Right. And, it's an interesting world. It's hard decisions. And, if I'm in this business to prepare guys for life, I don't want to, if I tell them, hey, I'm not going to recruit over the top of you guys, on top of this guy, then I shouldn't do it. But if there's an opportunity to make my program and our team better, I'm going to do it. If there's, sign that, hey, this guy's not coming along as fast as I want. There's always these things,
Yeah.
Sometimes someone you recruit, 2 years, they're not where you thought they were. And then sometimes they need a kick in the butt. You recruit someone over, and then they're like, okay, I'm ready to go. The maturity factor.
It is never simple.
No.
But the fact that you handle it as you do, with integrity and character, it matters, Coach.
Yeah.
And we're proud of it. Again, Friday night, 6 p.m., Devaney Center, Utah Valley, Husker Wrestling. Coach Manning, thank you. I'm going to make sure that we have the conversation with Des Moines.
Yes. Thanks, teammates. I appreciate Coach Osborne having an effect still in Des Moines. He's doing an awesome job with teammates. Love it.
How about that? Don't go anywhere. Teammates Mentoring Hour starting right at 5 o'clock.
Across Nebraska, voters will have the chance to end the current government abortion ban. The government shouldn't be making decisions for families' health care, but right now they are. Ending the ban takes 2 votes. A vote against 434, the first initiative, and then a vote for 439, the last initiative. It's only